Hi friends, welcome back to another video. It's your girl Meg, and today we're gonna be chatting about some TikTok makeup trends and what actually looks good on my skin and my face at age 40. There are a lot of makeup trends on social media, and I feel like it's very overwhelming to sort of weed through what's actually going to work on skin that is not 21 anymore. We're going to demystify some of that. We're gonna break some of that down, and we're gonna make it feel very attainable. We're gonna make it feel like something that we can actually do, because that is my specialty. I love to take makeup trends and things that are very popular and make it very attainable and doable for you at home to do. So if you're into that, let's go ahead and get started. We've got a lot of fun things to talk about, and yeah, let's go. All right, let's get started. I'm filming in natural light, so I'm just noticing right away that I have more light on this side of my face than I do this side. Hopefully that isn't a big deal, but I like to film in natural light. It's just my favorite thing. I feel like there's a lot to talk about as we do my makeup. I'll just share like really great tips, things that are gonna work for you. So one makeup trend I'm sure that we've all seen in the last few years is everybody's kind of straying away from the super full coverage foundations that are heavy and kind of switching more to medium light coverage tints and foundations. And I love that trend, especially if you are over 35, you're in your 40s, these foundations just play so much better with the skin. One that I've been loving lately is the Maybelline Super Stay 24-Hour Skin Tint. I put a pump on this. I'll link the pump below for you. I hate the dropper stuff, so I switched it to a pump that I got off of Amazon. And these lightweight, liquidy tints and foundations and medium coverage complexion products are so great for those of us that are over 35, that are in our 40s, because they just play so much better with the skin. Depending on your skin type, if you're super oily and you find that these just don't like wear really well, try the Maybelline one, because I swear this one wears amazing. See how it's just like flawlessly blends out so easily. Sometimes I even use my fingers with it. I'll use a brush to sort of like blend it out. This trend of like tints and lightweight foundations, I'm loving it for mature skin and those of us that are not in our 20s anymore. Okay, the next trend that I'm seeing everywhere is the pink under eye, like the blush with the pink under eye. So this is kind of two trends. It's like a higher blush placement with also it kind of going into the under eye with like more of a pinker concealer. This is how I like to do this trend. So I am using a peach color corrector under my eyes first. This is the LA Girl color corrector in the shade Peach. And I like to use this, as you can see, it's kind of like neutralized that darkness under my eyes. I feel like that's what does the heavy lifting of like canceling out my dark circles, because before I start going in with like a brightening concealer. This is the Maybelline. These have been around forever. I've purchased this concealer for over 10 years and I love it. It is the Instant Age Rewind Eraser in the brightener shade 160. This shade has been out forever, but it's had like a comeback on social media because people are using this in their pink under eye meshing with their blush, okay? So, and then this is really gonna be like your brightening shade. And this is, wow, I look so cute. This is what's going to really bring that bright under eye with that pink concealer. So I start with that first and blend it in. You can use a brush, you can use a sponge to blend it in. This is like step one to get that pink under eye and like that high blush placement. I'm gonna bump around to contour, like cream bronzer, and then we're gonna go back to blush, okay? So this is all gonna come together. We're gonna talk about the placement of like your cream bronzers. I really think it's important to start placing your cream bronzers and your cream blushes higher as well, because I see so many people doing different contouring tips, right, on social media. But I feel like the ones that are really giving the right information for me and those of us that got more mature skin is that the placement higher up is really going to lift the face, rather than doing like the skeleton one where they drag that down. That one doesn't work for us. On my skin, when I start contouring, I'm using the term contouring and bronzer interchangeably, but I'm using a cream bronzer to sculpt. But I'm gonna place that just right there, and I'm gonna use my brush and blend upward. That's very high up. In order to find the spot where you want to place that cream bronzer, you kind of want to feel where that cheekbone is. And I honestly think like right on top of that cheekbone is going to give more of a lifted appearance on top of the cheekbone, as opposed to underneath. As like a makeup artist, I used to place that about right there when I was contouring and doing bronzer. but now I think the higher up looks even better. Also with the jawline, people are like, put it under to give more sculpt, and this truly depends on your jawline structure. And for me, because I have a very soft jawline that I've also worked on surgically, I like to place it almost on the jawline, a little bit under it, and then I blend upward. So this really just depends on your face shape and your jaw. I start blending under to sort of marry that into the neck. And then when you've got it on the temple, you just want like one little swipe and then blend up into the hairline. And that's gonna give the face structure. Let me do this side real quick and then let's talk about the nose. All of my face has got the cream bronzer. Did I mention this is the Rare Beauty cream bronzer? I love it. And so when you get to the nose, I feel like nose contouring has been very popular on TikTok and social media as well. It honestly depends on your face shape and like what your nose looks like. But for me personally, I just like to do 2 little stripes on the nose. Then I just honestly take my finger and I blend that up and down just to kind of blend that out and get it in the spot where I want. And then I'll take this end of my brush, which this is the IT Cosmetics blending brush, the dual-sided one. The e.l.f. one is basically the same thing. I've just been using this today. I feel like that's the easiest way to do it. I do think that nose contour, nose bronzer, whatever you want to call it, is something that you probably don't want to skip, because I feel like the nose tends to get like look very flat white against like all this other sculpted stuff on your face. I don't skip it. So let's move back. So we started with the pink under eye. We had to sculpt a little bit with the bronzer, but now we're back to the pink trend. Going to want to use a cream blush or liquid blush and top it with a powder blush to get it the lasting power. This is the NYX Sweet Cheek Soft Cheek Tint in the shade Baby Doll. I love it. This shade is stunning. We are placing this high, like almost into the under eye, and this is that trend, just a little swipe. So I'm gonna start even going up into the under eye, onto the eyelid, into the temple, all like this like C shape right here. This is what's on trend right now, and I think it's gorgeous. If this doesn't work for your face shape, it may not be for you. So yes, I'm probably going to end up covering up this eyelid with some eyeshadow anyway, but I don't know, I just feel like as I'm doing it, I like the way that, I just love the way that this looks, and I feel like it gives more of a seamless blend. And you can even start blending it towards the nose if you want to get more of that like sunburnt summer look. I feel like as we age, we're a little bit more concerned with like the hollowing. There's more dark circles. And so I feel like it kind of brings those areas out even more. So if you feel like you're hollowing, like you're like, oh, should I do under eye filler? Hey, this is like under eye filler and a blush, right? Even though this is very trendy, it is youthful, and I do think it will work on a lot of people. I just think it's beautiful. Okay, I feel like the light has just got, when I started, I had more light, and so I have to turn the brightness up on my camera. But we're then gonna set the under eye just a little bit with some setting powder. We're not gonna go crazy with it. Like the whole baking stuff and like using tons of powder under the eyes just does not work for us ladies that are 40. And I'm gonna use the viral Givenchy Prisma Libre powder in the pink shade. I don't think that this necessarily like intensifies the pink look, but I do feel like it does have that slight tint, and the powder is really nice. Do I think that you need it? No, but it's nice to play with if you want to try it. So I'm using the triangle powder puff, which I think is another really great trend that is worth trying, is using these triangle powder puffs to set your makeup. And I really am working this powder into the back of my hand before I put it on the under eye, because I don't want tons of powder under the eye. I really want to like set it. So then we're gonna tap out with a sponge to make sure nothing has settled into creases. We're gonna look up and just gently set right there on the under eye area. We just want a little bit of set before we move on to the next step. And then we're gonna take a powder blush, and we are using the shade Dolce Pink from Milani. This is one of their baked blushes. They're OG, these are so popular. They've been around forever, but nobody talks about Dolce Pink. It's such a pretty color. So we're gonna then follow what we just did and intensify And this is pretty much setting the cream blush with the powder. So this is giving us the longevity of the blush, because sometimes blush just like fades so quickly. This has a little bit of a sheen to it as well, so you really don't need to go in with a highlighter if you don't want to. And then I'm gonna use a little bit of my powder bronzer. You can see how well loved this is. This is the L'Oreal Infallible Fresh Wear Bronzer. And I am just gonna lightly tap that to sort of set my cream bronzer. I'm just showing you what I'm doing. These aren't necessarily like the TikTok trends that we're talking about. I'm just showing you what I'm doing in case you kind of want to see the process. And then I'm going to take like whatever is left over in this cap from the Givenchy Prisma Libre powder, swirl a brush around in it, and sort of tap it on other areas that need to be set. I have a skin type that I need to set my makeup with powders. We are kind of getting towards the end of this video, and one of the trends, I have a little bit of eyeshadow sort of blended on the eyes, and I've used the Makeup by Mario Master Mattes palette. It's a really nice, easy, user-friendly palette. And one of the trends that I want to talk about is the Smoky wing. I don't personally love winged liner on my eye shape, but I do really like the smoky kind of like flicked out look, because I have round eyes, so like my corner of my eyes droop down very low, and like it's very hard to place it perfectly on my eye shape. So this totally depends on your eye shape, but if I place it in the right spot, I feel like it looks really nice. So all you need for this is just like a nice little brush, angled eyeliner brush, and you kind of just sort of tilt the face like this and start, you kind of draw a little line, and then you draw a little line the other way, and you got yourself like a nice little smoky wing. And what's nice about this trend is like if you feel like it doesn't look great, or you can just take like a pencil brush and smudge it and just sort of like work it until you've got it in a spot that looks nice. And it doesn't have to be sharp, it doesn't have to be precise. It's just a nice little flick of eyeshadow that you place on the eye, blend out for it to look really like smudgy. You know, the whole idea is that this looks smudgy and not like sharp, like a sharp cat eye at all. I have to start it a little higher, and I really have to like pay attention to what I'm doing when I'm doing this. I do feel like it looks really nice, especially when you have some mascara and lashes on with it, and you're just like I said, all you do is you just take some brown eyeshadow with a little liner angled brush and play around with it. I'm going to even these out and do my other eye, and so we can move on to the last of it. But let's say the wing is too much for you. Take a little pencil brush and just dab into some brown eyeshadow and smudge it along the lash line as a way to sort of like smudge it out and define the lash line without it being too harsh. So this is a way that we're not using harsh eyeliners. Smudgy, smoky, softer eye looks, I think, are just, it's a trend that's very popular, but also looks really good on mature eyes. Okay, I've got the eyeshadow wings done, and then I put some mascara on, and I did my lips as well. The combo I used on my lips, this is not any of the TikTok trends, but like it is NYX lip liner in the shade Nude Truffle and the L'Oreal lipstick in the shade Fairest Nude. I'll link them below. And so the last social media trend that I think works really well for me, and at 40 years old, is the half lash trend. So I feel like this has been very popular in the last few years, last 1 to 2 years. And for me, I've been doing this a long time because I feel like a half lash looks so much better on my eye shape as opposed to a full lash. A full lash makes my eyes look way too cartoonish. I have very big, large, round, like protruding eyes, and a heavy lash just makes me look super cartoonish, like just not real life. I use just like a wispy lash that I get off of Amazon. I cut them in half, which I've already done here. So these are the Christina DW lashes. I cut them in half, and then I use the inner part of the lash on the outer corner of the eyes. And so I use this with a little bit of brush on lash glue. I just put a little bit of brush on lash glue. I let that glue dry down for about 30 seconds to a minute, and then I place it on the outer corner of the eye. And the nice, like subtle flutter, like wispy half lash, I feel like just looks so much better on my eye shape, and it blends really well with my makeup looks that I'm doing, and just gives like the nice pop. Can we see here that it just like kind of amps up the eye look without it being too heavy look. It's not like dramatic, too crazy looking. Every time I do this on other people, I feel like it looks really great as well. And the key is to use a wispy lash with a really thin lash band. And like, you'll be able to wear this lash all day long. It's not gonna poke you in the inner corner. It's gonna just be super comfortable to wear all day, very easy to remove. It's very lightweight, doesn't weigh anything down, doesn't damage your lash at all. I have been doing the half lash thing before it was popular. I'm so glad that it's like a trend now because I feel like it looks great on everybody, every eye shape. So I am done chatting about all of the trends that I wanted to talk about today that work really well for me in my 40s. Like I said, I know there's so many things to weed through, but these ones I feel just create such a beautiful makeup look for me personally. And I feel like it will work for a lot of us ladies that are not 21 anymore. You know, we just want things that look good on our skin and that enhance our features better. What is your favorite? Have you tried any of these trends before? Do you feel like they work well on your face shape, your skin type, your age? Let me know in the comments. We are done with today's video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all in my next one. Bye.